Alright, so there are a lot of albums out there that I personally consider aren't really up to par. But there's one album in particular that I strongly dislike. I'd go as far as to say that I hate this album. This album was the first album from this specific artist, and honestly, with the whole rollout and the album itself, you could tell that there was some thought into what this artist was doing with this project, but the execution was piss poor. Terrible. Terrible. And honestly, the artist should feel ashamed that this album is a part of their discography in the first place. Now, what album could I possibly be talking about? Well, it's this. This is my first album ever, called Dopeaholic. And when I tell you that I hate this album with a passion, I don't like this album. I really don't like it. I can count on one hand the amount of songs that, I'll listen to on occasion at the very least, because I somewhat like those songs. And it's an album of 13 songs, and I like less than 5, so that says something. Anyway, how did the album come to be? Well, this was shortly after I moved in late 2021. So I was getting back into, the process of recording music again. And there was one song in particular, I think I recorded this in November. This song would turn out to be Cloud later on. And basically that song was just about, the highs and lows of, being high. I sat down and I was brainstorming, I hadn't made an album in a while. So I was thinking of ideas that I could, do. I thought back to Cloud and, the message that I was trying to portray through that. So I was like, let me just send her a whole, album around this song specifically, right? And I was like, yeah, let's just go with the theme of, the highs and lows of doing drugs and stuff. Then I realized, I'm a good boy. I've never done drugs in my life. So that couldn't really work. So I had to take a step back, go back to the drawing board, and I realized instead of only focusing on the negative effects of drugs, I could just do everything in general. And that's how I came up with the name Dopeaholic. Now, the holic prefix, as you know, basically means that, you're addicted to something. If you're an alcoholic, you're addicted to alcohol. If you're a workaholic, you're addicted to working all the time. Dopeaholic, you're addicted to dopamine. You're addicted to happiness. And that's where the whole concept of the album came from, basically. Someone, loosely based on myself, but honestly, anybody could place, their person, their identity into this album. Basically personalize it for themselves. They try to find happiness in drugs, love, money, cars, all of that, but every single time that happiness fades away and they're still sad, they're still empty. So eventually they just die. That was the whole album. That was basically it. So I had the concept, so all that was needed was to record, make beats and mix and do all that stuff. But the mixing was garbage. My vocals were garbage. It was just garbage. It's like I was trying way too hard on that album, but I wasn't trying at the same time. Personally, I don't have any words. I don't have any words to describe it. It was just bad. The rollout was fine though. The rollout was pretty alright. Because this was my first album, so every single time I make a project, the rollout has to be like spectacular. That's just something that like I have to do. I've been recording for 7 minutes. What? After that was all said and done, the album released on July 8th, 2022, and it was okay. But I did have a message that I wanted to share. The message is, although the album is pretty bad, the message is still there, and the message, everybody wants to be happy, right? But the happiness that most of us find, happiness in is not true happiness. I still struggle with, finding true happiness to this day. So in a way, the message of Dopeaholic is still impactful to me. It still, makes sense. I just wish I would have expressed it in a completely different way. But anyway, it is what it is, and I don't really feel like removing it from my discography because it just has to be there. It just has to be there. You know what I mean? If my discography was only made up of songs that were good, you wouldn't really see the progress. You wouldn't really see my progress as an artist. So I leave that up on all platforms just so you can go listen to it and be like,
wow, this is garbage.
Then you listen to my new stuff and be like,
wow, this is less garbage.
And you can really see the progress that I've made as an artist. Because I didn't come out the womb, as like a genius composer. I'm not a Beethoven yet, but I will be. But I'm not right now. Honestly, I've improved a lot since Dopeaholic. But like I said, the message that I wanted to share with that album is still relevant to this day. And I will continue to, put my heart, my soul,
my blood, sweat, and tears, my emotions, my feelings, my experiences into my music,
so that people can relate to me. So that people can
relate with me.
June 2022, up to now, I've acquired a grand total of
$2.73. I can probably buy 5 lollipops with that. Maybe 4. I don't know, inflation's a bitch.
It's not about the money, although, the money is. It's about the passion. It's about the message I want to share. I make music based on what I'm feeling, what, my experiences and stuff. So they may not reflect what you think, what you feel, but sometimes they will. And I want you to relate to that. That's all I want. But anyways, that's it. I've been recording for 13 minutes. So yeah, this has been One Up. I'm out. I can't reach it.